VannKraken here, World of Warships Legends Alpha Tester. So a battleship, a cruiser, and a destroyer all steam into a cap. Which one of these enemy ships should you target first? In this final episode of our 3-part easy aiming series, we'll answer that riddle with skill tips and tactical secrets that can help you and your team win more games. Once you've mastered the basics of sailing around the map and hitting shots, building technical target selection skills and a good grasp of tactical judgment are essential to taking your game to a higher level. So let's get started. Do you ever wonder why your aim is all janky sometimes when you're trying to line up a shot on an enemy ship and your rounds just randomly splash long or short or hit the side of a mountain? It's pretty simple actually. Having no target lock means no ability to aim smoothly and also no accuracy either. So our first key tip is to make sure you have selected the intended enemy ship before you fire at it if it's part of a group. To lock the target, place your aiming reticle over the enemy ship and let the game automatically select it for you. Or better yet, use the RB/R1 button on your controller so that your lock stays in place if you happen to look around a bit in between shots. A properly locked target will display a crosshair symbol over its ship type icon like this, and your aiming reticle will move smoothly and give you pinpoint control when you line up your shot. The manual target locking method is also the best way to ensure that a targeted ship remains properly selected when they go behind terrain like a mountain or island, as noted here where we deliver good salvos on a Mogami seeking cover but sailing in a predictable line. Remember, if your shots are not going near where you intend them to land or your aiming reticle is acting squirrely, then check to see if you actually have a target locked before you aim and fire. Our next skill hot tip focuses on how to set more fires and may annoy some battleship mains, but it can obviously be used by any type of ship, including BBs, with solid high explosive rounds. It's actually a very straightforward concept. You can inflict maximum damage with HE by setting an enemy ship on fire on multiple ship sections simultaneously. As we'll illustrate here with a bit of revenge on a conqueror, the biggest fire starter on the World of Warships seas, there are 3 sections of a ship that can be lit up in Legends: the bow section, the midship section, and the stern. When you successfully set the first fire on a larger ship like a battleship or a cruiser, you will see animation that looks like a very large blaze. But there is actually the capacity to set 2 more fires on the ship, one on each of the remaining sections. So dial up the heat by explicitly targeting another area that is not already engulfed in flames, and then possibly a third to accumulate a full Disco Inferno level of damage. You might also get the kill, an arsonist or witherer medal, and maybe even a friendly chat message from your vanquished foe as well. Okay, now let's balance things out by helping battleship players get some revenge for this HE fire spam technique that makes many of them so grumpy. I am a cruiser main, and because cruisers are food, I always run one of 2 commander skills that offer an early warning when enemy ships are targeting me with their main guns. For example, with IJN cruisers, I use Ganuchi Mikawa with his Ingenious skill, or Storm and Norman Scott on USN vessels to utilize Armed and Ready. As can be seen here, that gives the cruiser commander a numbered head-up indicator next to the spotted eyeball icon that tells them the number of ships that are targeting them with their main guns. They can use this intelligence to either take evasive maneuvers or go dark by ceasing fire and breaking detection when they attract too much attention. I probably shouldn't be giving this away for free, but you can defeat that cruiser defense mechanism with a skill similar to a play in sports where a quarterback, number 10, or point guard doesn't look at the actual target of their pass. The first step is to manually target lock a nearby decoy ship. In this case, it grouped up Zara. Or just move your reticle far enough away from your intended target to deselect it automatically. Then, when your main guns are fully loaded and ready to fire, you rapidly move your reticle back to your intended target, lock it with RB, aim quickly, and fire away. Battleship players who learn this looking off technique will find it can definitely yield juicy, devastating strikes on unsuspecting cruisers who don't even realize that you are lining them up for the massive kill shot. So if you're keeping score at home, I hope the cruiser and battleship players agree we are now all even on tips 1-to-1. Now it's time to move beyond technical aiming skills and shift to tactical decision making, where the concept of firing at enemy ships in a particular order of operations that honestly might be the single most important thing you ever learn in Legends if you want to win more games. Do you remember our opening riddle about which ship we should shoot first? To answer that directly, destroyers should be targeted and eliminated first whenever possible. Repeat, enemy destroyers are public enemy number 1, and you should shoot at them relentlessly in whatever kind of ship you are driving if you are within 12 to 13 kilometers, or sometimes even from further away. And yes, even in a battleship with AP rounds in the chamber. Taking out an enemy destroyer early in a game very often swings the entire match in your favor, as the red team is robbed of vision, cap control, and a major torpedo threat to your allied cruisers and battleships. Kill the little buggers early and often if you like to win games. Second, target and eliminate cruisers when you are not actively shooting at destroyers. They are very squishy, often YOLO or get out of position. So do what you can to remove them from the board quickly if they make the mistake of being spotted early on. Sinking cruisers removes support for enemy battleships, cap control capability, an HE spam threat, and most importantly counters the natural predators of your own destroyers. Third, target battleships when you don't have shots available on either destroyers or cruisers. Weaker players or damage farmers that only care about their own score shoot at them early and often because they are generally big and slow and are easier to hit, but they also take the longest amount of time to kill. Enemy BBs are far easier to keep track of and eliminate when they have lost their escort and screening ships. Harass them with a few salvos early in the game to get them to back up and limit their map control and dev strike potential, and only take the time to zero in for the full kill if they are overextended too far beyond their teammates. And finally, carriers are a bit of a wild card because you don't know exactly when you're going to spot them or get them within range of your main battery guns or torpedoes. If you see one YOLO or get spotted in a push, for sure, shoot it. You will remove a key spotting and mobile strike threat from the enemy team. However, the majority of the time they will be the last ship to mop up. And for the love of your teammates, please don't be the destroyer or carrier player that drives all the way around the map border to remain undetected on a wild CV goose chase. You just rob your team of vital spotting, map, and cap control when you do that with your ship or planes. Both weathered sailors and marine biologists agree that nothing dies of old age in the sea. And successful predators recognize that weaker prey make for a quicker and easier kill. Constantly scanning the health of enemy ships with your targeting reticle gives you important information about which of your opponents has sustained significant damage, which should send them straight to the top of your target priority list. All else being equal, it's always a good thing to target low health ships first, even if they are further away from your position than other enemies or require a more difficult shot to hit them. And this is especially true for ships that have access to the healing powers of the repair party consumable, and goes double for British ships that can print nearly another ship worth of hit points when they heal. It's vital to pick them off before they can. Next up, it's possible to sap the health of a group of powerful battleships by burning them down with a tactic that can both drain health fast and even deal killing blows. Intentional fire setting can be employed by any type of ship that has a decent rate of fire and or HE shells with pretty good fire starting properties, and it entails spreading out your fire spamming efforts from one ship to another instead of just getting the hots for a single target. The first step is to set one enemy ship on fire. Again, typically a battleship which has the longest burn duration. We then switch our aim to another battleship to get it blaze started on the second ship as well. At this point, we need to carefully observe the behavior of the enemies that we've set on fire. If one or both of them heals, we immediately try to reignite the flames so we can get a sticky fire on them that will burn for the full duration of their damage control party cooldown period. Getting a second or third fire on the ship at this point can really rack up damage quickly, drive them back from an important objective, and possibly even kill them outright with supporting focus fire. And it's not just ships that have extinguished fires that should attract our attention. Enemy targets that have been torpedoed by allied ships or planes will often be forced to use damage control party to fix a long-lasting flood. This is an awesome time to add to their misery by saddling them with a sticky fire that burns off the remainder of their hit points left over after taking torpedoes. And finally, to take your targeting reads to another level, there are a few other considerations you have to juggle that might seem a bit obvious, but may not be for new or casual players. First, it's important to take care of any enemy ships that are an imminent threat to your own ship as soon as possible, such as a battleship that is pushing your position. Second, high-value targets such as radar cruisers are also a key priority, as ridding them from the enemy side will help out your own destroyers immensely. Third, if you have multiple targets to choose from in any given engagement and they are all about the same health, choose a broadside ship so you can try for devastating strikes or high damage volleys. And finally, you must reset your cap by firing on any and all ships that infiltrate your base and capture the base mode. It also really helps your team stay in the game on points and domination mode by targeting ships that are capping any of the lettered bases A through D. So we've covered a laundry list of high-value skills and tips in this video to help you select and prioritize targets and knock them out in the most impactful order possible. But don't fall into the trap of assuming that your teammates have figured this out for themselves or have even noticed a key target that you are firing on. So if there is one command that you should use often on your comm wheel, use your target reticle to call out destroyers, high-value, or gravely wounded targets. This one simple action using your B/circle button and your left stick takes just a second while your guns are reloading and can coordinate highly valuable focus fire from teammates to knock out vital targets and tip the scale of victory in the favor of your team. Well, this wraps up our 3-part easy aiming guide, and I really hope that it will help you increase your level of success, confidence, and fun in World of Warships Legends. However, I would really appreciate it if you would refrain from using any of these techniques or tactics on me if you happen to see me on the opposing team in-game. And please don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, share it with a friend, or to join us for a live stream here on YouTube or on Twitch. This is VannKraken. As always, I thank you very much for watching, and I am out.